I think what really sells it for me is the fact that she could hear the clicking. Like if you could just, if that's actually really annoying. Like, stuff this, I don't want to be here anyway. You haven't even looked at it. You haven't even like just acknowledge it, be thankful. I'm really good at seeing the good in people, even if it's like clearly not there. That's just weird. That's a little bit weird. It's kind of like people pleasing. I have never been in that mindset where it's like, if you're coming to my party, you need to give me a gift, bring me a gift. How about you learn to crochet and you do it? Hello, hello, beautifuls. Hi, my name is Tanisha. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. Today, I'm gonna be doing something a little different, something a little last minute. I'm in my jammies, but today I'm gonna be reading out Am I the A-Hole? Crochet and Knitting Edition. So I don't really know how long this video is gonna be, but I personally love watching these sort of videos and knitting or crocheting along. So this is your reminder now. Go grab your project, go grab a snack, go grab a drink. This might be a long one, I don't know. I am in fact attempting to knit while I read. Well, not while I read, but while I'm responding to things that I'm reading. I don't really know how that's gonna turn out, because if you know anything about me, I'm already not the best knitter, and this is color work. And so I really need to be using my brain. So I'd be surprised if I get a few rows done by the end of this video, but we shall see. We shall see. I am working on my Norwegian Cebu, I don't know how to pronounce that, I'm really sorry, mittens. Hopefully by the time you're seeing this video, I would have actually already have posted my video / tutorial of how to make these lovely mittens. I made myself these. I will link it down below in case you want to check that out. All right, my first, I don't even know what to call them, Reddit post. I'm just gonna call them posts, I guess. All right, so the first one is titled, Am I the A-hole for asking the lady sitting next to me at a concert to stop knitting? We're starting off strong, guys. I went to a concert tonight at a seated venue to see a folk singer. The music is relatively tame / quiet and fairly emotional, in my opinion. Seeing this artist is a pretty immersive music experience, at least for me. I was really excited to see this particular show at a seated theatre where it's easier to just focus on the music. I'd venture a guess that most of the people who would go to this type of show are going because they're emotionally invested in this person's music. The show starts and I notice the woman sitting directly next to me is knitting. Odd, I thought, but okay. But as the show went on, I kept finding myself so distracted by this knitting. I must have tried for a solid 30 minutes to ignore it, but the constant motion in my peripheral vision plus the quiet clicking of the needles kept stealing my attention away from the show. After a while, I felt like I couldn't focus on the show at all, and all I could think about was whether I should try to politely say something. The woman was with a partner, and I noticed on their other side there were 2 to 3 open seats. So I finally worked up the courage to politely say something. I thought the best and least disruptive way to do that was to write a note on my phone and show it to her, so that's what I did. Ooh, I feel like maybe that in itself is a little bit rude. I don't know, I would feel bad doing that. Anyway, the note said, I'm so sorry to ask, and I know this is probably ridiculous, but the knitting is distracting me from enjoying the show. Would you mind either stopping or moving one seat over? Again, I'm sorry. I don't know, I assumed anyone who knitted in public, and especially someone at this kind of very chill show, was probably generally chill human. So I was not expecting the kind of negative reaction that followed. The woman gave me the nastiest look, let out an angry sigh, threw her hands up, dramatically stuffed her knitting stuff into her bag, huffed and puffed to her partner, and then got up and completely left the show. I was so baffled by how angry she got, especially since I tried really hard to phrase this as politely as I could. I even considered that maybe there are reasons beyond my understanding why someone might not be able to sit still during a show and might need to keep their hands busy. Neurodivergence? Question mark? Some sort of recovery? Question mark? Some other reason? So I really tried to avoid speaking up out of sensitivity, and again, it's why I included the suggestion that maybe she could just slide over instead of stopping completely. I realized that knitting is definitely not the most disruptive thing a person could do, and I couldn't tell if me asking her to stop was unreasonable and maybe I should have just sucked it up, but I thought I was polite about it, and I'm still just really shocked at how mad she got, and even more shocked that she completely left the show halfway through the set. So, am I the a-hole for asking her to stop knitting or move one seat over? ETA, I think the use of the word concert is misleading people here, and people might think concert equals a loud environment. This was a fairly quiet folk show. So that's a very important thing to understand. It was a very intimate, quiet folk show, as opposed to a rock or pop concert at an arena. The room was dead silent outside of the performance itself. The set included some full band songs, some solo acoustic, some that were just vocals, fiddle, guitar. The needles did make a clicking sound, probably equivalent to someone typing on their phone with long nails. Ooh, okay, so that's the end of that one. Oh my gosh, that was a lot. No, I do not think that you are in the wrong. I do not think that you are the a-hole in this situation. You clearly asked very politely. I don't know, I feel like maybe it's the fact that you wrote it on your phone, but then again, it's like you don't want to be whispering to someone if it's already such a quiet. You don't want to be like, excuse me, can you just please, like that in itself could be taken in the wrong way. The fact that she reacted that way was actually very childish. Like, okay, fair enough if someone's just like, if you can just see someone knitting or crocheting and it's like, okay, that's a little bit distracting. But I think what really sells it for me is the fact that she could hear the clicking. Like if you could just hear that throughout the whole time that you're watching like an intimate sort of folk stage show, that's actually really annoying. If anything, the lady who wrote this should have just moved to those empty seats because yeah, there's no need for her to like completely leave the show. Like if she's been knitting this whole time, okay, to be fair, neurodivergency and like if you need to keep your hands busy, fair enough. But then a part of me is like, wouldn't you want to be watching the show? Like if you've paid money to go and see, I just don't really understand that. Like I said, I think the only thing that could have potentially made the lady who was knitting react in that way is maybe because she was with a partner. She could have been dragged to this show that she didn't want to go to, and so she was like, well, I'm gonna take my knitting because I'm not interested in watching this show. This is not my thing. Maybe her comment, maybe the lady who wrote a note on her phone was the last straw, and she was like, stuff this, I don't want to be here anyway. Still, I feel like she shouldn't have reacted in that way. She should have probably just said, okay, I'm really sorry, I'll just like move over a couple, or like move on the other side of my partner. Sometimes it's as easy as that, you know? I can understand both sides of this story, I think. I can see how the knitter could have taken it in the wrong way, you know what I mean? But I still don't think that the lady who wrote the note is the a-hole. No, I don't think so. This one seems good. All right, this one is called, Am I the a-hole for crocheting around my boyfriend? Okay. I, 24 female, was at my boyfriend's, 29 male, house. We were watching our usual shows, but I've recently become very interested in crocheting. I can multitask very easily, and I was crocheting while we had something on. My boyfriend said it was rude to ignore him and the show, but I was paying attention. I told him I was still watching the show, but he said I was a selfish a-hole for crocheting during our time together. I wasn't ignoring him like he claims. Am I the a-hole? Okay, I guess that's the whole thing. Okay, this one's... I can personally relate to this story in a similar way, okay? So I feel like I'm such a neutral person. I feel like every one of these stories I'm just gonna be like seeing... I'm really good at seeing the good in people, even if it's like clearly not there. So I can kind of, like the other story, I can kind of see where both sides come into play. I don't really think that people should just be calling somebody an a-hole for crocheting. That's a bit of a stretch. Okay, so I can relate to this because every now and then, it's pretty much just for my YouTube channel. If I need to desperately finish a project, and the majority of sometimes I am doing a project and I just really need to crack out like a good 3 hours in the nighttime. I don't film at night because it looks crappy. And so I'm just like, blah, 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 you know? And usually in the nighttime, my husband is like, oh, let's watch a TV show, let's watch a movie. To be honest, we don't really watch movies. Where like TV shows are good because it's like we can watch half an hour of a TV show and then it's like, all right, 1-2 episodes, and then we can go off and do what we need to do for the evening. But every now and then my husband really wants to watch a movie, and you know, maybe I want to watch a movie too. There are certain movies, I'm very much into thriller sort of movies, things like that where you really need to pay attention. So basically my whole TV, film, movie life revolves around if I've got a very important project due for YouTube that week or if I don't. Because if I am rushing to make something, then I'm going to knit or crochet during a movie. I will admit that you do miss things, you do miss details, it depends on what genre you're watching. But like you can hear the dialogue, but you can't see the facial expressions. You can't see like little things. And literally every now and then my husband would be like, did you see that? No, you didn't, because you're crocheting. I will find myself being like, oh, what happened? Why did he do that? Oh, why are they here now? Well, you would have known if you were watching. And it's like, okay, fair enough. If it's a movie that I absolutely love, I will put down the knitting. I will put down the crochet. But if it's like a movie that it's like, yeah, just put it on, it might be okay. I think we watched the James Bond, the newer James Bond movies. Action movies are just not my favorite thing. Like, they were good movies. Don't get me wrong. Great movies, great acting, great cinematography, great music. But this was like a month ago. I knew that I needed a project to be done very soon. So I was like, I'm not super into these movies. So I'm gonna whip out the crochet. I'm gonna whip out the knitting. You know what I mean? I'm still watching, but like not really. And so I feel like I have a good reason why I would crochet and knit during a movie, because it's like I have a deadline sort of thing. But if you're just always knitting, always crocheting, you're not really giving your full attention, especially if you are with your partner. And so I can see how the partner would be like, oh, you might as well be in the other room. Like, go in the other room if you want to crochet and knit. Like, you're not even paying attention. You're not enjoying the time being with me. So I can understand that, actually. But then, like the other story, what about people who can't sit still? Or maybe you're just neurodivergent. Maybe you're just a bit jazzy, you know? You don't want to sit still for so long. You need breaks. You need to have your hands moving, which is fine. So, once again, I'm going to be very neutral. I don't think you are the a-hole, but I also don't really think he is the a-hole. I feel like it's a bit of a mixed bowl here. You have to try to understand from both sides. Anyway, I think that I've babbled on way too long for this one. Guys, I've only done like 8 stitches. I'm trying. What are you guys working on? Tell me what you're working on. I really want to know. Okay. Let me just tell you something. I'm gonna read this one, okay? I've done a few more stitches and I'm gonna read another one. All right. Am I the a-hole for refusing to crochet for family? This might seem silly to you all, but this has led to a very real and aggressive argument with my mother. I'm 24, female, have recently taught myself how to crochet. When beginning, I was afraid to tell my mother, as I knew she would underestimate how time-consuming and tedious it is and would start promising family members crocheted projects on my behalf. Why would you do that? That's just weird. That's a little bit weird. It's kind of like people-pleasing. Lo and behold, she promised my brother a hat and scarf. Fine. He is my brother. But the item in question is she promised my aunt a set of netted fruit bags and then told me. So she promised her first and then said, oh, by the way, you gotta make this for your auntie. Nah, that's not... Mom, how about you learn to crochet and you do it? Where I might be the a-hole, I could do them. They are not overly complicated and I just finished a set for myself. But they are time consuming and I simply don't want to. I have already had to put a cardigan I was making for myself on hold to make the hat and scarf mentioned earlier. I do not want to delay myself any further. I know this may be selfish on me and I could just make the bags to make everybody happy, but I don't like that she is promising out of my skills and free time out to others without consulting me. I am choosing this hill to die on. So, am I the a-hole? No, you are not. 100%. There's no me sitting on the fence in this one. You are not. It doesn't matter if it's your mum. She shouldn't be giving you extra things to do. Like, you're 24. I'm sure that you have enough on your shoulders to worry about starting out in life. You've only just learned how to crochet, which, bravo to you. Lovely. It's nice that you have decided to make like the hat and the scarf for your brother. That's nice. But it kind of, the way that she's written this, it kind of sounds like your mother is like a people pleaser and she's trying to turn you into a people pleaser. From personal experience, I still suffer with being a people pleaser. If somebody says something that hurts my feelings, or yeah, like, I will suppress the way that I feel a lot of the time because I don't want other people to get hurt. And if her daughter was anything like her mother, she'd be like, okay, all right, I don't want to upset auntie, but I'm glad that, you know, she's sticking up for herself and saying no, because like that, crocheting and knitting is very time consuming, okay? I will be the first to admit, there have been so many times where I have genuinely from my heart wanted to make things for my friends. Like cute little things. I see cute little things all the time, especially crochet, and I'm just like, oh my god, I want to make that for my friends. But it is so time consuming. The only person in my life at the moment right now who I know from the bottom of their heart does appreciate, and plus they live with me and they see how much effort and how much time it takes me to make things, is my husband. So I'm making this for my husband. It's taking me bloody forever, but I know that he will appreciate it and use it. Okay, from what it sounds like the mother is like, oh, my daughter, it's like she's boasting. It's like maybe she feels like she needs to boast about what her daughter can do. When I was younger, I taught myself how to paint. I love painting. But my mother never just randomly promised like my family members like paintings. You know what I mean? That's just kind of weird, because if you understand how time consuming something is, you're not just gonna promise people that that person can take the time out of their day to make that. It's the principle. She said that, yeah, the fruit baskets probably won't take too long to make, but it's still time. And time is important. You have to manage your time wisely. I actually surprisingly don't really get family members asking me. I don't get family members asking me to make things for them, or even friends, because I feel like they do understand how busy everybody is and they do understand how long things take to make. But I'm always showing pictures and being like, look what I'm making, you know, I show people at work and stuff like that, just because I'm like genuinely excited about making things. However, I do get quite a few of my family members and friends saying things like, you should sell them on Etsy, or you should sell them, you should go to the markets and sell them. I can understand that way of thinking. If anything, that's actually worse, because then you would have to be making a high volume of, like, for example, I could show these to my friends and they'll be like, and someone might say, oh, you should make those and you should sell them. But then you get into the logistics of it and it's like, this one glove takes me like 12 hours to make. And that's just me. I'm a slow knitter, whatever. Times that by 2, that's like a whole day. And then that's only one pair. And then the cost of yarn, that's another thing. Is she expecting her daughter just to like spend her money on the yarn just for free? I really commend people who do social media and Etsy and like selling your products and your patterns. I would love to come up with patterns. I think that's a little bit different because it's like you just make one and then you just kind of keep selling it. But products, physical products, I've never really had, at least at the moment, the desire to just keep on replicating like one thing and just keep selling it because yeah, like I said, it would be so expensive as well. And wouldn't her auntie be like, no, don't make her do that, like that's too much work. Weird. I just think the whole situation is a little bit weird. Yeah, no, you are not the a-hole. Your mother seems to be a little bit of a people pleaser perhaps. I could be wrong, but she should not be doing that on your behalf. That's a little bit weird. I think I've got to start decreasing soon. I'm almost finished the second snowflake. Alright, what do we have next? Maybe I'll do like just a couple more. This one is called, Am I the a-hole for not bringing a gift to my sister's baby shower? Does this relate to crochet? Yes, it does. Okay. Alright, let's read it. Am I the a-hole for not bringing a gift to my sister's baby shower? In December, I've reached out to a local crochet business to make a blanket/stuffy for my sister's baby shower, which was this past weekend. I have been consistently reaching out to this local business to ensure that the lovey is done on time. The lovey? I work a lot, so trying to arrange pickup has been difficult, so I gave the owner numerous days and times where I could pick up the week before the baby shower. The owner told me that none of those times work. Oh, so she's paying someone else? She's getting someone else to make something? We finally agree on me picking up the stuffed animal 1 hour before my sister's baby shower starts. Alright, so she's got a commission for a stuffed animal that someone's making for her, I think. I arrive at the crochet store, which is 30 minutes out of my way to my sister's baby shower. I receive a text message from the owner as soon as I pull up to the store, saying that it is not ready yet. Keep in mind, I ordered this in December, and so this is March. 3 months? Oh my gosh. So I go ahead and go to my sister's baby shower empty-handed because I did not have any time to stop at the store and pick up another gift. My sister is furious at the fact that I do not have a gift with me. Okay, first of all, that's weird. I don't know. I have never been in that mindset where it's like, if you're coming to my party, you need to give me a gift, bring me a gift. I feel like maybe the only time it is kind of frowned upon to not bring a gift is like a wedding, but even then, you need to understand people's financial situations. You need to be understanding, like be understanding. You can't be that way. Anyway, my sister is furious at the fact that I do not have a gift with me. She says that it is rude and disrespectful to her and the baby because I did not bring something. I tried to explain the situation to her. I told her that the lady from the store that I bought the gift from did not have it ready on time, which is the lady's fault. Obviously, not her fault. I showed my sister the inspiration picture for the gift, and she said she looks forward to seeing it when it's done. However, she is deeply disappointed that it's not finished. She blamed me for it not being done and said that it was probably an excuse because I probably forgot the shower. She told me I could have at least bought something else because it is embarrassing for her sister to come in with no gift in front of her husband's family, who are very traditional. I told her to knock it off because it's not my fault. She proceeds to cry, and everyone told me to stop being so mean, careless to the pregnant lady. I just sit through the rest of the shower. I then leave without really saying anything else to anyone. Fast forward to today. I am finally able to pick up the stuffed animal. The stuffed animal / blanket looks nothing like the inspiration photos that I sent to this crochet lady. She did not even make the blankets that came along with it. I had to drop those off in January. I spent nearly $200 on this gift for my sister. $50 for the blankets and $150 for the crochet animals. I immediately went over to my sister's house and gave them to her and apologized. She threw a fit. She said they looked nothing like how I described and I should be ashamed that I even brought this as a present for her. She told me that she does not want the gift, especially because it's late and it looks like SHIT. So, Reddit, am I the a-hole? No, you are not. If anything, you've gone out of your way to try to get like somewhat of a personalized gift. Like, that's actually really unfortunate. I'm so sorry that happened to you. And your sister is obviously not very mature. Just the fact that you went out of your way to do all of that, you didn't make it yourself. Why is she blaming you that if it looks bad? With the way that your sister was acting, I don't really think she deserves a present. Or the baby, rather. From what I can see, so she said that her family is very traditional and that it looks like crap. And so she's embarrassed about the way that the toy looks. It seems like she really cares about other people's opinion. So that's like a her problem. You did nothing wrong. You tried your best to get like a really nice personalized, handmade, expensive gift for your sister's baby. She should be a little bit more appreciative of that and the fact that you went out of your way to do that. You are not in the wrong here. Like, if I had a baby shower and someone forgot to bring something, like, some people don't even, you know, at a baby shower you can make like a registry where it's like a list of things that you need to buy for the baby. Some people don't even bother with like including one of those. Bring whatever you can. Bring some food. Bring a card. Like I said, you have to always consider people's time and financial situation. I've known plenty of people who would just flat out be like, yeah, I can't be bothered getting a gift. So like, that's actually genuinely a nice thing that you tried to do. And it's kind of crappy that the crochet lady, that they call her, didn't do a very good job, or like didn't use the inspiration pictures to make whatever you wanted. There is no photo there, so I don't know. Being pregnant and organizing a baby shower and stuff can be quite stressful. See, here I go again, trying to like understand both people's perspectives. But no, I think that your sister in this situation is just kind of being a bit, just not very understanding and just not very grateful. I'm gonna leave it at that. Okay, what's this one? Am I the a-hole for taking back my gift and refusing to return it? This happened over Christmas and I'm still getting heat over it. By the way, guys, anybody with long hair, if you knit and crochet, do you always just get like at least 500 of your hairs in your crochet pieces? Okay, let me read this now. This happened over Christmas and I'm still getting heat over it. I love knitting and crochet. It's my thing. This year, with COVID and all, money's been tight, so I decided to knit Christmas gifts for everyone using yarn I already had. Everyone already agreed to only do kid gifts, so I made small stuffed animals, unicorns and dragons in different colors. It was my first time doing these, and all the best patterns are crochet, which I'm not as comfortable with, so it took months to make them all. I didn't mind though. It was fun to learn something new and a good way to use up some of my enormous stash. All my side were happy, or polite enough to act happy with the gifts. The problem was with my husband's families. His sister immediately started making snippy, sarcastic, but kind of indirect comments about me being cheap/lazy. Niece didn't seem to like it either, and said some things that, yes, I get that she's a kid, but my feelings were still pretty hurt. There's a history of this sort of thing, so maybe I'm too desensitized to this, but I angrily took the gift back and handed her some cash, which made things really awkward and we left shortly after. Okay, if I'm being honest, I would have done the same thing. The big problem happened when my niece realized that all her cousins got matching stuffies, and so she wanted hers back. I already gave hers away and I refused to make another one. Apparently she is crying and I broke her heart. But I'm finding it hard to care because I'm still hurt by how she and her mother behaved. Her mother? Ooh. They have not apologized either yet, but expect me to. My husband thinks I should make her another one and should have overlooked the comments in the first place. No, I don't think so. I told him that he's in charge of his family's gifts from now on, which is apparently petty. Nope, understandable. Now, everyone, including husband, is mad at me except his stepdad and sister. My family is obviously on my side, but that just makes things worse. I get that snatching the gift back and flinging money at my sister-in-law's face. Oh, okay, that's a bit dramatic. No. Apparently that's their words. She said she doesn't think that she snatched the toy, and she doesn't think that she flung money in their face. That was just an exaggeration. Might have been overly dramatic and rude, but am I the a-hole for it being pushed too far? No, I don't think that you're in the wrong. Like in the previous story, if people are just gonna be so petty and not appreciate a gift in general, that's on them. You took your time and the effort to make them a handmade gift, and they're gonna just open it up and be like, I don't like it. It's like, okay, give it back to me then. Like, that's fine. If it's true that you snatched it and threw money, that is a little bit dramatic. I still don't really think that is a wrong thing to do though. I'm sure that everybody has experienced. Have you ever given like a nice personalized gift, or like you've gotten a nice piece of clothing for someone, and the first thing they open it up, you're expecting them to be like, wow, oh my gosh, you know me so well. But then the first thing they do is just, oh, it's pink. You haven't even looked at it. You haven't even like just acknowledge it, be thankful. That sort of thing hasn't really happened much in my life, but I'm sure it's happened to everybody at least once. Somebody will just find the bad in something immediately, and especially if you've handmade something, it's kind of sad when people do that. But yeah, if anything, I feel like by you addressing the issue, it doesn't matter how old a child is, if they need to be put in their place and to say like, that's not right to be ungrateful and talk about someone's gift in that way, then you don't deserve it, and it's fine to take the gift back. And like, she gave money as well. She could have just taken the gift back. She could have just been like, all right, you don't want it, I'll take it. But she actually gave money to her niece. Like, that's still very generous. I think her husband is more so trying to just be like, oh, let's not fight, let's not create tension. I'm kind of the same with things like that. But yeah, like I said, I don't think that you are in the wrong. Yarn is expensive. Your time is very precious, and if you have taken the time out of your day to make something, then even if it's not the most fitting gift or maybe the most flattering sort of gift or what they wanted, then people should just be appreciative and grateful for receiving a gift. That's that. So maybe some good came out of that situation. Sometimes kids need to learn a lesson, and maybe should be more grateful in the future. I have done a hefty 2 rows. Let me know if you guys enjoyed these. I'm sorry if you've heard them before. Do you want to see me try these on? These are the ones that I've finished. Oh, they're so beautiful. My gosh, my gosh. Love them. All right, that's it from me. Thank you so much for joining me. Leave me a like, subscribe if you like this sort of content. And I hope you have a lovely day, a lovely night, wherever you are in this world, and take care. I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.